First, if you've lost your animal, you have my deepest sympathy. Losing a beloved pet is heartbreaking. They become family. Their presence is missed over and over again. But you are strong and resilient. How you choose to manage your pain matters, because even in the pain, there is gold. You can emerge from this experience with growth in understanding the losses of others and with greater compassion. The dogs on this cover were ours. I know the agony of saying goodbye and the painful decision to euthanize a creature that owns a piece of your heart. In this video, we are going to explore normal grief over a pet, balanced thought that helps us recover, and why this loss is sometimes more significant to us than the loss of a human. If you know a person who's grieving a pet and really don't understand why it's so hard for them, I want to help you understand their loss and how you can best help. Maybe 25 years ago, I saw a movie, which I swear was called Heaven, but I've never been able to find it again. A man died in the beginning, and then we see him in a beautiful green rolling meadow. A guide, presumably an angel, is with him and ready to show him around. Then, in the distance, is a black dot. As it comes closer and closer, we see that it's a dog, no doubt thrilled to see his master. The guide says to the man, "Are you ready to let that go?" And the man flashes back to his own childhood, when during a hunting trip, he accidentally shot and killed his dog, this dog. It was clear that the guide was asking if he would let go of that memory. Just as the man says yes, the big-sized dog jumps on him. The reunion was pure joy. The viewers understood that the man would never suffer again over how the dog died. It was one of the most beautiful scenes I have ever watched. I believe it's evident in Scripture that the mutual love between an animal and its master was designed by God. We were given animals as close companions and amazing helpers. There are so many stories of pets who've risked their lives for their masters or even died. Self-preservation came second to loyalty. This is why we love our pets so much. A friend of mine recently died. Shortly before he died, he wrote me an apology letter. It was about something he said after my husband's and my dogs had both passed away. I will never know exactly what he was referring to. I don't remember any offense. The reason he wrote the letter is because he had gained a new empathy. He had found a dog and become attached. One day the dog ran off and was lost for a time. My friend was very upset, but finally found the dog. This sequence of events helped him understand our loss. He was sorry he hadn't been more sensitive. It's okay, Dawn. I think it's hard to understand the attachment and love that forms between a pet and its owner if you haven't experienced it. It can be much like the love of a parent that a parent feels for their child. A friend of mine said she can't even look at commercials about fighting animal cruelty because she feels so sensitive to their plight. I think of the popular Carpenter's song, "Bless the Beasts and the Children." The song continues, "For in this world they have no voice, they have no choice." Because animals are vulnerable and trust us, and if we're good owners, a special bond develops. We learn their expressions and movements that indicate what they want and need. This is an intimate connection. Being a veterinarian, I think, must be a lot like being a neonatal pediatrician. The patient can't talk. Sensitivity is needed. Good owners become acutely aware of their pets. Pets are already acutely aware of their owners. My daughter wanted a dog when she was young teen. Some in our family had allergies, including me, so it didn't seem like a good idea. Finally, after she read about allergies and dogs, she convinced us to go visit some Pomeranian puppies. The little 5-inch balls of fluff ran around and tripped over themselves. I can still see them. They were adorable. I stuck my face in their fur and did all right. We said okay with conditions. Holly, the new dog, was never to come upstairs. Later it became, she will never come in the main bedroom upstairs. Later, she was forbidden on the bed of the main bedroom. Finally, after she'd gained clearance for the bed, it was definitely decided that she would never eat a treat or something in the bed. Yeah, she was one crafty little puppy. One day during my divorce, I was crying in the bed. Holly, our Pom, came up and slowly started licking the tears on my cheek. She knew I was in pain. She was comforting me. Her sensitivity and care was undeniable. At this point, it would have been okay for her to have like a raw steak in the bed. So precious. What amazing memories do you have? I'd love to hear one in the comments. Keep your precious memories safe in your heart where they can live forever and come back to make you smile whenever you want. When a pet dies, we lose a daily connection that is sometimes closer than we have had with any human. This person's pet loss may weigh more heavily than the loss of another person. Often, the pet was a constant companion. Pets give from innocent hearts. They treat us well. There have never been harsh words from this creature. If a friend has lost an animal, send a card to recognize their loss. Check on them. Ask them how they are doing with their loss. Let them know that you will listen to them. Your ears are the best gift you can give. Don't be afraid to suggest professional help if their grief seems to linger. If we don't live in the present, we will miss it. For any good owner, their animal's dependence and innocence fostered a sense of duty. We were their protectors, but we were unable to protect them from death. Sometimes we even chose to hasten their death by having them put to sleep. Then what? If you have made this difficult choice for your pet, I am pretty sure you did it with compassion in your heart. It is better to let your pet go to the next place than to keep a suffering animal alive, especially if it's because of your needs that are trumping theirs. I knew someone who had a dog that had gone blind and become incontinent. Because of this, a dog that once lived with a family was isolated to the basement. The owner couldn't put the dog down, so instead she left it mostly alone, blind, and wandering in a basement. I didn't see the care that the dog actually got on a daily basis, but from what she said, it sounded awful for the dog. If an animal doesn't have a good quality of life anymore, it is kind to let it pass. I think that if we're paying attention, animals let us know that life is no longer good. If you have been sensitive to your animal this way and had it euthanized, know that you are kind. It is normal to second guess the situation later, but remember your reasons for making the choice. Normal grief is all over the board. At first, the loss seems unreal and we expect our little pet to come around the corner any minute. Guilt may come up. We may feel depressed. Tears are good if they don't last so long that they exhaust us. It is good to take grief breaks to distract ourselves and have some fun. Grief that disrupts our daily life for days is an indicator that you may need additional support. Losses often cause other losses to resurface. That happens, and it's okay if we are still eating and sleeping and functioning well. Otherwise, seeking professional help is a good plan. How can we help ourselves recover? I've been asking people who have lost a beloved pet what helped them feel better and move toward acceptance and peace. One woman said that looking at pictures of her cat as a kitten helped. She'd had that cat for 18 years. Another said her other pets helped her. I bought a bracelet that I will always wear, and it was to memorialize my babies. I like having it on. Finding someone who understands you and will talk to you about your loss is always good. There are pet loss grief groups. If you shared a pet with others, they may be the perfect person or persons to talk to. But even if someone shared the loss with you, they might want to grieve differently than you do. We have to respect others' choices, but I do encourage talking. When we bottle up emotions, they can take on a life of their own. When we share our emotions, they often dissipate, especially if the person we talk to can empathize. In my field, there's an expression, we are as sick as our secrets. In other words, in a safe environment, allowing ourselves to be open and heard is healing. Another thing we can do to help ourselves is to think about the whole of our pet's life. If we repeatedly think about the day we said goodbye, that will be sad over and over. If we choose to mix into our memories our pet's happiest days, we may still cry, but we will also smile. Keeping memories in balance is necessary because they are a reflection of reality. As a reminder, put up a picture of a happy moment for your pet. All the years of joy with an animal are worth the temporary agony of loss. I've cried many times over losing my dogs, but they had great loving care during their long lives. They blessed us tremendously. I've heard people say they don't want another pet because losing the one before was too difficult. There are many practical reasons to think about when you're going to get a pet, like the cost, time needed to care for them, the space they need to thrive, where they will stay if we go out of town, and who will care for them if something happens to us. The list goes on and on. But when someone says they don't want to risk the loss again, I think that prevents a new pet from having a good home, and it prevents them from loving that way again. A friend just happened to call while I was writing this. Hi, Jay. I remember when his dog was still living how he would talk about him constantly. I asked if he would share with me what helped him get through the loss of his beloved friend. He said there were two things that he would think. The first one was, if the Lord leads you to it, He will lead you through it. The second was, though it's hard to fathom sometimes, God will not put on us more than we can bear. Nice. Even if we feel like we can't bear loss, we must remember that God is an infinite source of strength. We have access to that, and empowered thought claims it. Faith is certainly a great comfort. I always figured that there is no way that I loved my animals more than their creator. When I look across the animal kingdom, I see the humor of God. When I look at the love of many people and how they love their animals, I see the relationship between man and animals as it was supposed to be. When I read scripture, it's clear that animals are precious to God too. It is clear that animals will be in heaven. We are told that all of creation will be restored. I believe that includes our own precious fur babies as well. When we lost our second dog, the vet said that if we were meant to have a new dog, it would find us. That's a whole other story, but that is what happened. We now have a 2-year-old Pomeranian. If you watch Grandma Rap for Sophie after this, you will see our beautiful little fur ball. She makes us smile and laugh every day. Grief over a lost pet is valid. Honor your pet by using your powerful mind to send soothing messages to yourself and celebrate the time you had together. Thank God for the compassion you have gained. Consider fostering an animal or simply pet a neighbor's animal. There are many animals in this world that long for your kindness, even for a minute. Look for caregiving opportunities and commit to enjoying your life today. You are amazing, and Fluffy wants you to be happy.